Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. In 2015, the world finally got the female superhero story it had been looking for with Marvel's Jessica Jones on Netflix, with Krysten Ritter in the title role playing a character she seemed born for, and the gaslighting villain Kilgore played by David Tennant. The show was beloved. Now, 2 years later, Jones and her adopted sister Trish, played by Rachael Taylor, are back for a lot of new mysteries and season 2. Let's take a look.
Third glass tonight.
Put it on my tab.
You drinking to remember or forget?
Giving a shit won't get you a better tip.
I was feeling sad. Can't help looking back. Highway.
My whole family was killed in a car accident. Someone did horrific experiments on me. And now this super vigilante shit keeps coming at me.
Do you know Captain America?
I want to absorb Ailey's investigations.
You don't want me, you just want to eliminate the competition.
I never take no for an answer.
How rapey of you. Something happened behind these doors. I have 17 years of questions, and they are deep.
Just knowing what was done to you might help you.
We were made here. Me and something else. The only way to find it is to open the door wider.
You were brought back from the dead. The powers were a side effect.
How many others are there? Like me?
Let it go.
There is a killer you cannot control.
I didn't ask for any of this.
Jessica might not want a sidekick, but she needs one.
You're not super. You're a ticking time bomb.
Keep telling me who I am. How dare you? What if facing it makes me worse?
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Depends on if I can get through this night without losing my shit.
Jessica Jones!
It takes a monster to stop a monster. What did they do to us?
Everybody, please welcome Krysten Ritter and Rachael Taylor from Jessica Jones, Season 2. Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for making another season of this great show.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I just love that trailer.
Sick trailer.
It's so sick.
I love that trailer.
What was it like? I mean, you guys had an amazing first season. I used the word beloved before to describe it, but it really is. Everybody loves that. What was it like going into season 2? Did it feel like pressure, responsibility to live up to the first season?
I think we felt excitement. You know, it's not every day that the stars align and you're proud of your work, and it's also then edited well and marketed well and well received. It's just like catching lightning in a bottle. And both of us have been working for 15 years, and it's just a really rare thing. So it was a lot of excitement and appreciation going into it. And I think we definitely wanted to go deeper and throw our full selves into the parts. So, I mean, it's just such a blessing.
Do you tell the writers that or the creators that? Do you guys pitch ideas at all, or just sort of say that you have a passion for going a little bit deeper into the emotional aspect of your characters and sort of see what they come out with afterwards?
Well, yes and no. I didn't
that.
have to do that randomly. I always had the question and wanted to see when Jessica became so dark. When did she lose all the color from her life? When did she get so hard? And that's exactly what we end up doing in this season, is peeling back all of those layers. And like we told you backstage, we even do an entire flashback episode where we really see like that moment in her life.
Well, I was going to say, you know, the first season, obviously the two of you had a lot to do together, and it was a lot about your relationship. But this season really feels like the story is about the two of you and how you relate to each other and work together.
I mean,
Yeah.
I really feel like the friendship between Trish and Jessica is kind of the heartbeat of the show. Yeah. And what I love about what Melissa has kind of created in terms of putting female friendship or a female friendship like this on the screen is that it's not always perfect. It's messy and complicated, and there are shades between the two women of competition and jealousy. And season 2 is like a journey of just going deeper and darker into their history as friends and we get a really, really neat little window into their past and why the love between Trish and Jessica is so deep that I can't wait for you guys to see it.
Deep and complicated, right?
Deep
Yeah.
and complicated.
Yeah. So were you excited when you were getting these scripts back from Melissa and they were really about this relationship and about this friendship?
Yeah, and also, thrilled and excited and surprised by what they were able to come up with. I think it started when we were on Defenders. We started hearing rumors that the episodes were really good. And we kept hearing, and usually, hearing it from a different source, like somebody's assistant at blah, blah, blah. I can't say anything. I don't want to get anybody in trouble and ruin my sources. But that kind of excitement was going around, and that was palpable. So then when we started getting the scripts, it was really amazing just to hear her words again and the voiceover in the beginning. And then by the time we get to the second half of the season, we were all salivating to get our next scripts. Yeah. The writers were able to go take this story to places that felt as personal as season 1, but so wildly different. We're doing something totally different.
Yeah. I remember when I got the pilot episode for season 1, and I went, hands down, this is the best piece of television writing I've ever read. I was like, how do I be in this show? This show is going to be amazing. And then when we started hearing about season 2 and we got that first episode script of season 2, I was like, how did she make this better and deeper and more complex? It's really cool to see how Melissa has built upon season 1.
And I think part of that also, she had so much, all of our episodes were written before we started this season. So having that time to craft the entire arc.
Is that different than season 1 was?
Yeah, I think season 1 there were probably 4 or 5 maybe episodes written, and then maybe they started I knew that they had started writing episode 7 when I was cast. Right. And it was funny, I could almost feel it too in the scripts. I'm like, oh, this starts to sound like me. But they had all 13 written before we started season 2, which is an amazing luxury.
How did they get that luxury? Just time?
We had to shoot the Defenders. That was basically it. When I signed on to play Jessica Jones, all of the actors also had to do the Defenders, and that was always carved out, so we knew we'd have that huge chunk of time.
One thing that I really loved about the episodes that I've seen, and I've seen the first 5, is that the beginning of this season plays out much more like a mystery rather than like an arch comic villain. Not comic, but an arch villain who we know who it is, and that's kind of who we're going after. This felt much more like there are strands and there are narratives and paths that your character has to go down before we actually find this sort of this evil villain.
Yeah, which also I think expands the scope of the show.
Yeah.
So there's more plot set up in the beginning that ultimately all funnels into one thing, but it does expand the world. It gets out of the claustrophobia of Jessica's situation, and also allows our supporting players to have bigger roles this season, which is really exciting. Rachel's part is fucking sorry.
No, go ahead, it's fine. You can swear.
Sorry, is dope this season, and also it's freaking dope.
You're allowed to swear, but please, oh yeah, but
Sorry.
I would love more moments of you going.
That'll be a gif on the internet, hopefully. Also, Ika Darville's Malcolm gets great stuff. Carrie Ann, Jerry Hogarth's character expands, and it makes the world feel bigger and rich, and it's exciting.
One of my favorite things about season 2 is how masterfully, so the first 5 episodes, they feel like a bunch of different tentacles. And by the time you get to episode 6 or 7 or something, suddenly it all kind of beautifully crystallizes into one terrifying thing. And I think when people get to that point in the season, it's going to be really, really exciting.
And what that does too is it makes the stakes high for all of the characters.
Yeah.
And that's such a difficult thing to do with television. Usually a season of TV, or not even difficult, I think kind of a radical thing to do. Usually with TV, you start here and then you branch out as the season progresses. You don't start branched out and then sort of hone it in later on.
Yeah,
maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just talking.
Is that true?
We're not
Do
your
we do
average
that?
TV show.
Maybe.
Well, in
That-
season 1 we did that, established, and now we're branching. Whatever, I don't know.
I'm just throwing stuff out there. Does it feel like a bit more referential to the noir sort of genre, though, at
I
that
think
point,
so.
with her actually investigating?
I think we leaned into that even more. That was something we established in season 1 and loved. And, we've never seen a female PI like this in film noir. It's ever. And so that's an influence of ours, and I think we leaned into it even more with the cinematography, obviously with the voiceover, and with the style of storytelling as well. Which is cool. I really like that vibe of the show. And
It's psychological, This season is very much driven by our characters' inner dynamics. It's about kind of fighting the monster within. It really, I think it's a psychological thriller in its own way. Particularly, we're always in Jessica's head in a way, like her inner wounding and her trauma is just so magnetic, I think.
Especially with your character, I think, in this season as well. There's a much deeper dive into her psychological trauma. Without giving anything away, can you talk about what's going on with her? Without giving anything away.
Oh, boy. Oh.
I mean, the show's out in 2 days. I think we should just drop a bunch of
just blew
spoilers.
it.
Marvel snipers.
Yeah, you are literally the
I'm
only
scared that
person
she is.
ever from a Marvel movie or show to come on stage like, let's just do it. Everyone is like, absolutely not. No.
No, I mean, it's a bit. I can't really. Marvel snipers will get me.
For Trish, I think where we left her at the end of season 1, obviously they overcame Kilgrave together. And I think it kind of whet her appetite a little bit in terms of her ambition for more. She really is a character that wants to be more than what she is. She wants to matter. She wants to feel powerful. She doesn't want to be vulnerable. I think she's very envious of the powers that Jessica has. So season 2 is really about how far Trish is prepared to go to kind of get what she wants.
Well, it's interesting. It's almost as if, while Jessica is an incredibly vulnerable character, Trish doesn't see those vulnerabilities at all, really. She just sees the powers there, right? So she's envious of this one thing without noticing sort of what the toll that they take on Jessica in another direction.
Yeah, it's funny. She's got a little bit of a blind spot there. And in the first couple of episodes, Trish really pushes Jessica to dive into her very painful past. And I think, there's a little bit of betrayal in that. It's something Jessica would rather not look at. It's like she's been through some incredible trauma, and I really push her to go after that. And I think Trish has some, and this is what I love about the way Melissa writes. She always writes characters that want more than one thing at the same time. I think Trish really is trying to help Jessica heal. And I also think, Trish has an ambition for personal gain,
So I feel like going into the first season, we knew who the villain was going to be, right? I mean, I think it was marketed that Tennant was going to be playing the villain in the show, but do we know who the villain is going into this season?
I do. Rachel does. No, we don't know. It's a pretty big reveal.
Right.
Is that too much even? Am I getting in trouble for even just saying that? It is a pretty big reveal.
But I will say I love that season 2, the lines between good and bad are a little blurry this season, which I love. It's like everyone has kind of a monster inside them. There are varying shades of villainous natures in everyone, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool that, having so much success after the first season, the creator of the show is like, no, we're going to reveal the villain this time instead of casting another sort of big character actor to play a villain and sort of getting marketing off of that. Were you worried about that at all? Were you like, we're not going to reveal the villain until later in the season? Or how did you feel about that?
I don't really know how to answer that.
Then don't.
Yeah, I think I just get that. I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough one to answer. I'd have to really balance, and I don't think I could do it.
It's really the creators coming forward and be like, yeah, sure, that was what made us a little bit successful last season, or one of the ingredients. Let's throw that ingredient away and see if we can do something different.
But it's also cool as an actor to just kind of read these scripts as a fan as well. And we get the script, every fortnight or whatever. And to not know was also experiencing the show like a fan. I was like, oh my God, who is, I have not, there was something that was pleasurable about it a little bit. It's a big mystery.
It is a big mystery. I know Melissa also, we did season 1. That was that. You almost it sets the bar really high. You kind of have to set the bar over there and then do something else. So that's what, and she worked she ran Dexter for 5 years, and I think that's that was their tactic as well. you can't do the same thing again. So we're doing something different, but equally personal and exciting.
And more personal
And more-
in
way
lots
more
of
personal.
ways.
Why would you say it's more
when you say
personal?
I can't. We have to stop now.
Oh, that's a tease too?
Yeah.
So you said that all the scripts were done for this season. Did you get all of the scripts before you started shooting, or is it still kind of like they don't want anything to get spoiled or anything to leak, so they're giving you the scripts sort of week of shooting?
Well, I got about, I think, 4 or 5 scripts before starting in terms of, and then prepping. But then at a certain point, you're so in it that you just get them when the production meeting is happening. You're like, cool, we're starting that episode in a couple of days. Then you get your script.
Do they pitch ideas to you at all? Or
Yeah.
do
So Melissa gives us access to information that we need. All of us, because it was all written, we're able to sit down with her, hear where our story's going, hear anything that we needed in terms of our performances. I've never felt like I didn't have the tools to do what I needed to do in my prep work. If I have questions, then they get answered. So we did have a good sense of where things were going.
Especially if there's like a special skill that you have coming up, they'll give you a heads up so you've got time to like go and hone it.
So wait, do you have special skills in this season?
No, maybe, don't know. It'll make sense when you see it, but if you've got something cool coming up, like a cool stunt or something, they'll give you a little lead time to like go and shape up.
So what is it like going
Sounds
into...
like a major teaser right now, and it's not. It's yeah.
It's not what you expect,
it's not what you
but
think.
it's awesome.
So the first season of Jessica Jones was in 2015. It's the first real female superhero that we've kind of had in terms of movies and TV. I mean, at least in this new age of superheroes. I can't even think of, maybe there was a Supergirl movie back in like 1984. I don't know. What is it like? Yeah, what is it like doing season 2 a couple years after the massive success? Obviously, it's a big success for a number of reasons, but also because the first female superhero, the Me Too, Time's Up movement as well have come.
Listen, this is like an embarrassment of riches. This is an amazing gig. This is the kind of work as an actress that I've wished to do my entire career. I think Rachel can say that as well. When I first read the scripts, like, this character is vulnerable. She is strong, physically strong. She is funny and witty. It's everything. Plus, she looks really cool. So getting to do all of that and then also be on a show that contributes to social conversations and sort of mirrors what's happening in real life and have a show that means something to women and men means a lot to us. And it doesn't happen every day. So I'm incredibly proud of the show for so many reasons.
Do you want to?
I mean, I think that, we're experiencing a moment in our industry where more gender balance in terms of storytelling and female voices is starting to come to the forefront, as it should. And, I think what we're seeing is a moment of a powerful moment of kind of radical honesty, and the fact that our show is able to speak to some of those social issues. It's incredibly moving to me. I remember season 1 when it came out, people were tapping in to kind of some of the themes of the show, which was about, sexual abuse and domestic violence. And the fact that, people that were watching the show were picking up on that was so cool. It was really very, very moving to see us be part of that conversation in any small way.
And then the fact that all those themes were wrapped up in a very accessible sort of superhero detective show as well. It's not like you were making a kind of, not that there isn't a place for these, but like a talking head documentary about these subjects, or like a frontline piece. It's actually like a wildly entertaining superhero show.
Yeah,
People
I
are
mean, that's really Melissa. Like, even though, these social issues are kind of woven into the thread of our show, she's not like, she doesn't like hit politics on the head in a kind of really like deliberate way. Like, she just does it really effortlessly and puts the story first and the characters and the relationships first,
Like any good storyteller, plot and character come first, not what you want to say about something.
Yeah, character always first, especially with Melissa.
Let's get some questions from our audience. Who has a question? You, sir. Make your way.
Hi.
Hi. So one of my favorite things about season 1 was the sisterhood that Trish and Jessica had. And since it's been years since season 1 has ended, and now season 2 is about to drop, when it came to you guys coming together to shoot season 2, did that sisterhood click again?
Well, one of my favourite things about this show is the female friendship between Trish and Jessica. But what I really love about it is that it's not like a perfect version of female friendship either. It's not like overly sanitised. There's shades of competition and shades of jealousy between the two women. And I mean, God, I don't want to blow too many spoilers right now, but you really see Trish and Jessica take an amazing journey in season 2 in terms of their friendship, particularly in terms of I don't think this is a spoiler. We get to see a little bit about where they've been in the past and why the love that they have for each other is so deep. You get a little window into that.
And I think on a personal level, going on a journey like this and being a part of a show, and it's a really intense, high stakes experience, being able to go through it with another girl, and celebrate that together. Rachel and I really love working together. So showing back up for season 2 is how can we lift each other up even more? How can we push each other and challenge each other and really have each other's backs and be on this ride together? So it's kind of off screen and on screen, I think.
A lot of that is Krysten too as well. For all of the supporting cast on the show, Krysten brings her A game in every scene, every time. I don't think I've ever even seen her drop a line, which is annoying, to be honest. Acting it's kind of like playing tennis a little bit. You're only as good as your tennis partner. So thanks for making us all look better.
Next question, right here.
Hi, big fan of the show. It's awesome. Krysten, he said it best in your intro. This is the role seems like you've been born to play. You're such a badass on the show.
I am such a badass on the show.
But
way cooler than me in real life, by the way.
See, and that's a perfect cue, because I was also going to say, naturally, you're hilarious, though. And I was a huge fan of Don't Trust That Bee and Apartment 73. I wonder, what's your preferred genre to do? Do you prefer comedy? Are you loving just the badass? You don't want to go back?
I love both of them, and I think what I try to do with Jessica Jones is be really funny in between takes. To have some fun and add some levity, because this is a really dark headspace to live in. But I love both. Jessica, it's so fun to play a character that's that cool and that powerful. It's a real thrill. But of course, I love to be silly and goofy too. So both.
Jessica's sometimes funny.
Yeah, but not like that.
It's dark funny,
yeah,
but
totally.
it's funny.
But she's mean funny, dry, sarcastic.
It's a quip.
Yeah, she's quippy.
It's not an extended goofy riff.
No,
It's
totally.
just sort of
Totally.
Yeah.
you suck, and that's kind of what she says. One more.
Hi, this is actually an online question from Jen. Wanting to know, we've seen Jessica partner with Luke Cage and a bit more with Daredevil in The Defenders. So are there any other Marvel characters that you would really want to see Jessica team up with? And are there any that you think she would just kick the crap out of?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't mind having a 15-minute scene with Punisher. You know what I mean?
He's so good. Mike Coulter, I mean, all of them.
Yeah.
But John Bernthal,
Yeah,
Punisher.
he's heaven. I love him. Yeah. That'd be fun. Don't you think Jessica Jones and Punisher would be kind of a fun 15-minute pairing?
It'd be so
terrifying and dark and amazing.
It'd be so dark.
Or
that
hot.
Would be so Jessica Jones.
Some people get it.
It premieres this Friday, right, on Netflix?
No.
Oh, excuse me. March 8th?
March 8th is a Thursday.
Thursday.
Which I didn't know until this week.
That's new. Isn't Netflix usually Friday?
Yeah, we're premiering on International Women's Day.
Oh, fantastic.
So
does it drop at midnight?
It drops at midnight Pacific Standard Time. So
got it.
3 a.m. Yeah.
That's it. So Thursday morning, Jessica Jones, season 2 is on. Please give it up for Krysten and Rachael. Let's hear it, everybody.
Thank you.